Hello, good morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining this morning. It's a great Monday. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. I'm so sorry that we're a little bit late. We had a bit of a technical difficulties, but trust me, you're not going to regret it today. It's going to be a great session. I have someone who I respect so much in our midst today. So thank you. So I am just waiting for Facebook to get this on live, and so we can get this party started. Just give us 1 second. I need to make this visible. Perfect. Thank you, guys. I just have to share this. Just give us 1 second, please. I am almost there. Great.
May I please speak with Gabriel?
Okay.
Gabriel, I'm calling with Recon Pest Control. How are you doing today? Wonderful. I was calling to let you know we are able to have a technician come to the home for the termites at 1 o'clock, between 12 and 1 today. Would that work for you? Perfect.
I'm so sorry.
That is correct. You're welcome. Have a wonderful day.
Dr. Margaret, I'm just trying to get this on your screen.
Okay.
Yes.
Hannah.
I'm so sorry. Okay, great, guys. Thank you. So it is going to be a wonderful day today. Thank you for your patience. I can see that we are on live, and if you can see us, just say hello and let me know where you're joining from. Hello, we're just waiting to see the hellos. Let me know that you can see me. That is very important. Let me know that you can see and hear me. Just say hello. If you are not on my personal page, I might not be able to see you right away. And so I can see some people on the line, but I just cannot see them. But I want you to be able to say hello and where you're calling from. Good morning. Thank you for joining. I just want to know that I can hear, or you can hear me and you can see me. Okay? We're using a great platform today, and I have someone that's very important. So I don't want us to miss any minute of this discussion. So if you are here, just say hello. I can see you guys, but I need to be able to get some hi on the screen. Um, Thank you for joining. Okay, great. So I just got that right. So, Dr. Margaret, we're ready to go when you're ready.
I am ready.
Perfect. Thank you. So, welcome everyone to the Civilized Presence. You are in the right place at the right time. Good morning. It is Monday morning. Usually we're here at 9:30 a.m., but I am so sorry. I have to apologize that we're running a little bit late today. We had a bit of technical difficulties, but we are fine now. Now, I just want to say thank you and welcome to our session. If you're here in a live session, I really appreciate you. But if you could not make it here in the live session, you're still very important to us. We love you. And all that we require from you is to be able to comment in the box below with hashtag replay and just let us know that you stopped by to say hello. And you can leave any questions, and we will be happy to deal with this question. So thank you so much for being here. Now, guys, this is the civilized presence. I can see a few people jumping in. If I do not mention your name at this time, it is because I am not able to see you. I'm just going to try to put this on a different page right now. Just 1 second, guys. Um, Dr. Margaret, I'm just trying to get this on your page. For some reason, I'm not able to. I think you might have to share it from your own end. I'm not able to get this on your page. Okay.
Okay.
So, yes. So, I'm not sure why you're not popping up. I'm trying to share onto you as a friend, but this is not coming on. I'm not very sure why. So, but I'm going to keep trying in the course of the show, if that's okay. So, welcome, and this is session number 29 of our Facebook Live series, and I am so grateful for all of the responses that we've had since when we started from the last week of April. It has been fun, and we've been paddling along every Mondays and Fridays. And I am not going to take so much of your time this morning. I'm just going to go straight in and get our guests to come in. But first of all, just for those of you who have never met me before or have never seen me, my name is Louisa Akaiso, and I am a certified master civility trainer, a golden rule civility statesman, and a leadership expert. If you want to know what I do, I work confidently with leaders and professionals just like you that place great importance in themselves and their reputation to embrace their unique greatness and live their full potential. Now, you are here because you have an interest in this topic, and I really do appreciate you for jumping on. And I know that you might have some people in your platform or your network who will find this topic very interesting. Could you please just love this video, like it, share it on your page, on your Facebook group, on your personal page? Give us all the loves and the likes because Facebook does something great with all the loves and the likes. And if you're watching this in a rebroadcast, that's fine. You can still love and like us, and Facebook will be able to spread this further to a lot more people. And together we can build a community of like minded individuals. So you can give us the like, the love, and a wow face. Thank you so much, all of you that were trying to send me a message and said, Louisa, you're not here at 9:30. And that means so much to us that the message that we're delivering is relevant and a lot of people are finding value in it. Now, if you're here for the very first time, this is the Civilized Presence, and the main goal of this Facebook series is really to help restore civility through meaningful and constructive conversations. Now, ever since I started, I did promise you that I will not be doing this alone. I'll be bringing in my colleagues and experts from different fields and different parts of the world. I am just about to ask Dr. Margaret if she's back to the States because I know she's always traveling and doing a lot of work, So, Dr. Margaret, it's so good to have you here this morning.
Well,
Now,
thank
we
you.
we have had a lot of questions about what civility really is, and people kind of think that it is so complicated and technical to be civil, or maybe it's for just special group of people. Now, this
Right.
is why we had to get started with having these conversations by really breaking it down into tiny little bits, and so people can see how easy it is for them to become civil. So I would say that it's as easy as saying please and thank you, or even saying good morning, or smile to the first person or whoever that you meet, or maybe even say hello to your neighbor. I'm not sure of how many of us have ever said hello to our neighbors. We have an interesting society that just locks you up in the box and you don't have to talk to anyone. But it is not too late. You can begin today. Now, this is the month of July, and we are at the end of the month of July. And I just want you guys to know that from the month of May, we've had different challenges. Month of May was a Global Civility Awareness Month, and it was great. We had the 31 days challenge. And for the month of June, we had the kindness challenge when we brought in Jacqueline Moore, excuse me, from the kindness community, and we had the kindness challenge for 30 days, and that was powerful. Now, for the month of July, we've done so much. We've learned about the laws of being civil, codes of considerate conduct, and we've also learned a lot that has to do with leadership and cultural competence. So I'm so grateful that this month, has been filled with great and valuable nuggets. And I'm sure you do agree with me because we've had great feedbacks as well. Now we are go moving on to the month of August, and I will tell you in a really short while what is going to be happening in the month of August. So first of all, I am just going to allow Dr. Margaret to say hello to the audience. Dr. Margaret, over to you.
Good morning, Louisa. Thank you so much for this invitation. I'm really grateful. And good morning to all the viewers. I hope we will have I believe we will have a great time today.
Great, great. Thank you so much. So, before we get started with the questions, I always would love to share our definition of civility. And this is the one from the civility experts. And that's the one we've chosen to share with you today as an affiliate. I want you to know that civility is a conscious awareness of the impact of one's thoughts, actions, words, and intentions on others, combined with a continuous acknowledgement of one's responsibility to ease the experience of others, example through restraint, kindness, non judgment, respect, and courtesy, and a consistent effort to adopt and exhibit civil behavior as a non negotiable point of one's character. Oh, that was a mouthful. That's okay. Now, if you were here online or watching us on replay, one thing that I want you to take away that civility is focused on people's treatment,
Right.
not just people's treatment, but positive people's treatment. So it is your responsibility to continually um, ease the experience of others. Try to pay attention to other people. Apologize earnestly if you have to.
Mhm.
Refrain from idle complaints and accept and give constructive criticism. So last week, I know that I had delved into what civility really is. And, I kind of shared with you that it is a lot easier to teach and practice manners and modern day etiquette than it is to practice civility. Because when it comes to civility, it is the outcome of choosing behaviors that are congruent with your positive personal values. So, with civility, you have to be committed. You have to be in it. You have to believe in it. Civility really is a lifestyle, if you ask me. It goes from inside out. And I shared with you an example about saying sorry. So it's very easy for you to teach the person next to you to say sorry, but sorry can also be a weapon if you do not understand why you're saying sorry. So we need to understand that we are saying sorry not because we are expecting the other person to say sorry when it's their own turn, or we are just trying to shut things down and move on and get our way. But we should say sorry because it is right to do so. We should say sorry because we're humankind. We've chosen to love the other person because they are humans. That's just the reason why you should say sorry. It's not because you expect anything back. So I am not going to stay too long here. I will pass it on to Dr. Margaret. She's the expert for today, and she's filled with so much knowledge. Dr. Margaret, welcome again to the Civilized Presence. Thank you for making our time to be here.
Well,
So
I'm so
usually, how this runs is I'm just going to send pass on a few questions to you, and you would respond. And if we have questions from the audience, then you would have to respond to the audience. Hello, Tony. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Sandra from Canada. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Esther from Nigeria. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Tony from London, UK. Thank you for being here. Hello, Nana from California. Thank you for being here. Hello, RC from Malaysia. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate all of you. Thank you for jumping on. So, Dr. Margaret, what does civility mean to you? And with all of the work that you're doing with coaches of influence, how does it play an important role in a person becoming a person of influence? Over to you, Dr. Margaret.
Thank you, Louisa. That's a great question. I like to give definitions that can be understood by everyone in society. I make it a point to define complicated topics and break it down in a way that anybody in society can understand it. So when I think of civility, it's very simple for me. It's just treating people right. When you treat people right, you are being civil and easing their experiences in life. And I believe personally with the work that I do, the message I'm sharing across is when you treat people right and you ease their experiences, these are two key ingredients that are needed for the development of any community, any nation, societies, and the world. Unless we come to the place where we recognize that people have value
Mm.
and people deserve to be respected and people deserve to be treated not the way we in society deserve to be treated, but the way they want to be treated. And when we ease their experiences in life, we are being civil. And if these two behaviors are a part of our communities, our society, our nations, and our world will be a better place.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that response. I can see a lot more people jumping online. And guys, I appreciate you for being here. And I just want you to know that if you're not on my personal page, I cannot see you right away. But I do appreciate you and love you very much. So just say hello if you're here from any of the pages that we have this video airing from. So, moving along, Dr. Margaret, the big word is influence. Now, as a John Maxwell coach and trainer, I understand that leadership is influence, but that is for me. And of course, I do know that leadership is so needed to move the world forward, or our society forward. Now, can you share with us in layman's language that anyone can understand what is the relationship between leadership and influence, and how does that connect? Over to you, Dr. Margaret.
Well, great. Thank you, Louisa. Every time we talk about influence, I get really excited because influence is not only my business, it is also my brand.
Mm.
And the way I see influence is the way I define it in my book and in my content and in my speaking is that influence is a gift that we all have. There's this saying that leaders are born, not made, and some believe leaders are made and not born. Well,
Mm.
unlike leadership, which people go around in determining how we acquire leadership skills, influence is a gift that we are all born with. We all have it. Whether we use it or don't use it, it is there. If we use it positively or negatively, it is still there. And influence is just being able, Louisa, to wake up something in somebody.
Right.
Like the show that we have this morning talking about civility. There could be someone, some people, somewhere listening, and whatever we share here can influence their behavior in a certain way. And that is what influence is if what you say, what comes out of you, the life you live, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you lead, if it can inspire somebody to change something about their lives, you are influential. And the relationship between influence and leadership to me is that if John Maxwell, I'm also a John Maxwell certified speaker, trainer, and coach. And John Maxwell says leadership is influence. Well, I believe that leadership, the entire goal and focus of leadership is moving a people from one place to another place. Leadership is not leadership if you're not able to influence change and advancement and growth in the lives of the people that you lead. People should be different when they encounter an effective leader. So to me, the relationship between influence and leadership is if leadership is moving people from one place to another place, if leadership is making the lives of people better from the time you met them, then you cannot do that without being able to influence them. It's a marriage between influence and leadership. People are not going to do what you say, but people will do what they see you do.
Right.
So they are not able to do everything you say, especially adults. But adults can be influenced by what we do.
Mm.
So that what we do is our influence. How we do what we do is the influence that we have. And so that influence that we have, if it is positive,
And did you say you're having?
In some cases, sadly, even if
Would you
it's
like me to
negative,
transfer them to your voice
it
box?
can stir up something in people.
Mm.
Leadership, effective leadership is has to be in a marriage with influence because you
Hello, I have
cannot
a
move
gentleman named
people
Sai on the phone. He has tax
and
companies
influence them to follow you.
Would you like to speak with
They
him?
have to follow you. You are leading them, and they cannot follow you if you're not influenced by them one way or the other.
Right. Thank you so much. I think that was so powerful. Hello, Hussein. I'm not sure where you're calling from, but I really do appreciate you. Hello, Fumi from Nigeria. Thank you so much for being here. So, moving along, guys, this is the Civilized Presence. And if you had seen the flyer, we're talking about civility, leadership, and influence today with Dr. Margaret Ellis. So we started with defining civility, and if you can go back on the video, if you're just joining us now, it would be fair enough for you to get started from the beginning and just get all the nuggets. And we are really talking about influence and leadership. Why leadership is influence and what influence really means. Because we have a lot of people around who are leadership experts who believe there are leaders and all of that. And it's important that we share to you who a true leader is. Just in case you were connecting leadership to something that is not positive, then you can change that from today. Okay, so the next question for you would be, Dr. Margaret. Now, who can be a person of influence? You see, I know that you do a lot of work outside of the US, you do a lot of work all over the world. And I can imagine how challenging it would be to be able to define influence and just get people to be in that mindset for those people who do not really understand it. And I really applaud you for the work that you're doing. Now, people think that they cannot be influential. A lot of people just think influence is not for me because influence has been linked to a position, and some people would think, how can I be influential if I'm not even educated?
Mhm.
How can I be influential if I'm the woman in the home?
Right.
Okay. How can I be influential if I'm a leader or if I am working in the community? How can I be influential in my tiny little network or in my platform? So, can you explain to the audience that is influence tied onto position? Is influence tied onto just being a leader, to in quotes, or who can be a person of influence? And how can you be able to achieve that if you're not one? Over to you, Dr. Margaret.
Well, thank you, Louisa. You can see the excitement building. I could not wait to start speaking. Um, I started by saying influence is a gift that we all have,
Right.
and those who can be branded as influential
Mm.
are those who recognize the gift that they carry
Mm-hmm.
and they invest in developing the gift
Mm.
and they make a decision, they choose to use the gift. Anybody at whatever level. And
Mm.
you are right, our society, especially when you travel to different parts of the world and different societies and different cultures, the definition of influence changes depending on where you are located or who you're speaking with.
Mm.
But in general, many societies, many people associate influence with status, with class, with education, with the work that you do, with the title that you carry, with the position that you hold. But that is not what influence is. If influence is a gift, a supernatural gift for that matter, a gift that we are all created with, we all have it. And so
Mm.
if that is the case and someone understands that, believe it, behold it, and invest in grooming that gift and make a decision to use it, they can become influential. And you mentioned a very important topic, those who are in the home, the mothers, the ones who are less fortunate, they haven't acquired high level education.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's difficult to convince them that they are influential. but they are. I'll just like to give us a scenario of a mother in the home with 8 children, never been to school. But this mother wakes up and the children watch this mother sweep, clean, wash, cook, feed them. And this mother, without realizing it, is influencing her children, teaching them how to manage a home, teaching them how to live as a family, teaching them to care for the family by cooking, cleaning, washing. This mother teaches these children the right behaviors. When they say the wrong thing, she corrects them. When she speaks, they listen. It's because she's influential. It's because not because she has power, not just because she's older, but because she has influence. The way she carries herself, because she's being civil, she cares for them. So when she speaks, they care to listen. Because people don't care until they know you care. So that is influence is for everyone, and it just takes a human being, someone to recognize they have the gift, to recognize they can groom the gift, to recognize they can use it, and when they step into that place, they become influential. I did not go to a certain university to be a coach of influence, but what sets me apart from many people, or why I could brand myself as a coach of influence, is because I have spent several years in my journey of leadership and professionalism, professional life, grooming this gift and using it at home in my little circle, and now it has extended to the world. And that sets me apart because I'm using it. Anyone who decides to use it and is able to make positive impact, is able to stir up something in people, is able to awake people to realize their why in life, their potential, and find their place in society, you are a person of influence.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was so powerful. Hello, Success from Orlando. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, for me. Thank you so much. I can see other people online, but I do not know who you are. I do appreciate you. Thank you for being here. So, Dr. Margaret, this is really great. I think that this topic, I am learning so much because I want our audience. Today, we have a guest who is not just a speaker, she's a trainer, she's an author, she's a coach. So she can bring it on, right? She's going to be able to answer any kind of questions. And Dr. Margaret, the next question I have for you, I am going to tap into your skills as a coach. Okay. Now, it is important that our young people do realize the importance of them staying focused
Right.
in everything that they do, because you see, success is can be defined in different ways to different people, and being able to achieve that sometimes it seems like is impossible. Now, I am just going to, and so I find that a lot of millennials now, a lot of young people do not pay attention to the world around them,
Right.
and they want to achieve success, but they're not ready to put in a lot into it. Now, because you're here and you are the coach, okay? So I'm going to tap into that. Can you speak a little bit to our audience in how important it is for them to be more focused with their goals, more focused in their way that they treat the next person? Of course, we're going to bring in the golden rule here, because influence, I believe, works hand in hand with civility and the golden rule.
Right.
Influence is not something that you go to the store to purchase. You cannot buy it. You can call yourself a leader as much as you can, like John Maxwell says, that if there's nobody following you, you're just taking a walk.
Right.
And I believe that if you're not influencing the person next to you, you're really just taking a walk,
That's
because leadership is empty without the influence portion of it.
Mhm.
Now, what brings influence from what you're telling us is really how people feel, how you connect to the hearts and the minds of those around you. When you're concerned about, you're responsible about what happens in your environment, and trying to just show up as being that positive brand of you in the environment. So, can you just talk to our young people a little bit, and how important it is for them to be civil, and how this is going to, contribute and lead them on the right path of being that leader that they want to be tomorrow? Because a lot of young people, as soon as you ask them, said, we're the leaders of tomorrow. But there is a huge gap in becoming that leader of tomorrow. It takes a lot of work. You do not just wake up and shake yourself up and it's like a magic wand and it's like, ooh, I'm the leader. No, that's not going to happen. You know that. So, can you yes. So can you explain a little bit to our audience, especially if we have young people and they might have young people at home to talk to? What are the steps that you can suggest to help them groom and build on the right path to true leadership? Over to you, Dr. Margaret.
Well, thank you, Louisa. In my work, working with youth, we just launched our foundation called Coaches of Influence Foundation, and the foundation will be supporting youth and women all around the globe. But prior to registering and launching the foundation, I have been working with youth for a few years now. And what I find is that we have a group of people whose gifts are underutilized. We have a group of people who are living in fear because they don't have a good model of leadership, and they don't understand where our world is going. They are confused, most of them. And we have a group of people who are unfortunate not to have a good model, especially in most countries that are not in the Western world. They don't have, they cannot define leadership. The reason they cannot see themselves as leaders today, they are always looking into the future because their minds are conditioned to believe that at their age, they're not leaders. They're leaders when they grow up and occupy a seat and occupy a position. They're not groomed to understand that the culture is not teaching them to understand that a leader is a leader first to himself or herself before they could even lead anybody else. They're not taught that they are a leader at their level where they are and they have a voice and gifts and skills and can contribute to society. So a lot of them are walking around with this mindset that I am a leader when I grow up. But between now and when I grow up, I can live anyhow, treat people anyhow, be anyhow, because I am not seen as a leader. And the gap between where they are in their mindset and where they need to be is positive influence. That's what bridges the gap. That's what we do at Coaches of Influence, and through our foundation. What we do is to awake that potential, that gift in the people, to bring awareness to them. We have a society who are dealing with identity crisis. They don't understand who they are. Most of them don't know their value. They don't know the gifts they carry. They think they have no part to play. They have no voice because what they say doesn't matter. The leaders make the decisions. This is their mindset. When you interact with youth, you will understand the world they live in. And the reason they are not able to step up and treat people the way we want them to treat, because no one has taught them, or there is no good model out there for them to emulate. So there is work to do. There is work to do in the sense that we need to, those of us who are in the position, those of us that the young people see as leaders,
Right.
we need to do a better job at explaining and modeling what leadership is, and encouraging them to understand that they are leaders at their level, and grooming them and giving them opportunities to lead now instead of saving it for the future. Because practice makes perfect. If they're not practicing leadership now, When they grow up and step into the positions of leadership, they're going to be just like everyone else they're criticizing now, because those people did not practice before they occupied the seat. We need to groom them now to walk in those shoes, to understand they have a place, to understand their actions have impact, to understand that even though they're not aware, somebody is watching them and somebody is learning from them how to live life, how to lead, and how to treat others. And if we bring this awareness to the young people, and once they understand it, embrace it, and start working that journey, they will be able to see themselves as leaders, and then it means we're preparing them for the seat.
Great, great. Wow, this is powerful. And I just want to let you know that Dr. Simon is in the house. Hello, Dr. Simon
Hi,
from
Dr. Simon.
Abuja, Nigeria. It's so good to have you. And he dropped a nugget there. He said, I am a leader and I grow daily. And leadership starts from within. So, guys, this has been such a great session. He has another one. It says, leadership is a process and a daily choice. That's correct. I agree with you totally.
Yes.
Now, audience, thank you so much for being here. If you do have a question, please leave it in the box below. We have the expert in the house. What a better time for you to drop your questions, because it can be answered right away. And Dr. Margaret, this is so powerful. You beat me to it, because my next question I wanted to talk to you about the coaches of influence. And I wanted to learn more about coaches of influence. And at what point do you do your intakes from? At what ages, or what class of people? Is it a program that runs in the US? Is it just all over the world? Or how does it work? Because I want to learn more about coaches of influence, and how can we be part of that?
Great. Thank you, Louisa. So, coaches of influence is our business side. And through coaches of influence, we influence leaders, individuals, people to find their why in life, to find their why in the positions that they occupy, to find their why in their communities, in their society, to find their purpose and be able to guide them to step on the path of pursuing their purpose and contributing to humanity and to the advancement of the world. That's what coaches of influence do. And we do that through speaking engagements, through coaching individuals, leaders, and groups, and also through training for professional development training and leadership training. So that's what we do through coaches of influence. And we have different curriculum, but the main curriculum is the book that I authored titled Influence, Your Passport to Transforming Lives, Nations, and Organizations. In that book, we talk about what influence is. We talk about how to awake it. People are able to take an assessment of their influence, the gift of influence, to determine where they are and how they are or are not using their gift. And we also have a leadership portion. And we also have a coaching part. If you want to become a coach of influence, how do you begin your journey, and how do you coach other people to awake their gift of influence? So that is what Coaches of Influence does in a nutshell. Now, Coaches of Influence Foundation is where we are able to serve youth and women through the foundation, doing the same thing on the business side, but this one is solely focused on women and youth, because we believe that women and youth are an integral part of our society, but they are an underutilized population. And so how can we go to those remote places, to the darkest village, where a woman has never heard about influence or has never seen herself as being influential? How can we go to any nation and be able to speak to leaders of the nation about their influence and their responsibility to lead with influence, to lead with authenticity, to lead with integrity, to model authentic leadership to the people that are in line to receive the baton from them? And so that's what we do through Coaches of Influence and Coaches of Influence Foundation. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. And you have a question from the audience right now from Success Ekpayong in Florida. And he says, have you ever been in a situation where your action was totally misunderstood and you had to act to safeguard your positive influence? How did you do it?
Correct. That's a very good question. So I have a scenario. Recently, I was invited. I am from the Gambia, West Africa. Recently, I was invited on a show.
Wonderful. I figured. All right. Thank you so much, Gerald. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
I was recently invited on a show to discuss my book, What Influence Is. And then, of course, the conversation drilled down to the situation in the Gambia, what my view is on leadership, my view about the nation. I shared my view, and somebody sent me a private message. And the person said, there is something you mentioned that did not sit well with me. Because I believe that anybody could take a statement you made and use it to start a crisis because they may not understand you. So I use this opportunity to educate this individual that what I said is not what will stir up crisis, but how people are being treated and how they feel is what will stir up crisis. So instead of focusing on what I said, a piece of what I said, he should focus on what I spoke about in its entirety and use it to gauge what is happening on the ground and determine if my statement is what is going to stir up crisis or what is on the ground, the actual situation is what's going to stir up crisis. So I use the opportunity to educate because people don't understand. And I had to make it clear to him that influence is my brand and positive influence is the message. But in order to influence people positively, sometimes we have to, not tell people what they are doing wrong, but show them how it should be done. And I said, what I did on that show was not to tell what is going wrong, but to show people a better way that we can do things to avoid crisis. So yes, I do as a someone on a world stage. When you step out, you open up yourself. People that will understand you and those that will not understand you. But my job is not to help people understand me, but my job is to help people understand my message.
That's correct.
And to see my message through a positive light and through positive lenses, because that's what my mission is.
The same script as we had last time.
That's great. Thank you so much, Success. And thank you, Dr. Margaret, for that question. You dealt with it in such a great way. It is important to focus on the message, okay?
Right.
Not the carrier of the message, but the
Right.
message itself.
Right.
Thank you so much, Eno. From Virginia. It's so good to have you here, guys. It's the top of the hour. If you do have another question, I can allow you to pop it in. Dr. Mila, wow, thank you so much for being here. Great. This session today is bubbling with a lot of great people. Dr. Margaret, you have all the support in the house, all the great men and women in the house that are here with you.
I'm loving it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, guys, just before we have a question come on, because I know that a question is going to pop up shortly, I am just going to take this opportunity to tell you about what we're going to have in the month of August. Okay, so the month of August is starting first with a program for young children, ages 5 to 10. I had announced this before that we have the program coming up, Kids Blaze, for ages 5 to 10. And we will be using the Golden Rule Civility curriculum for this program. Now, this is not a program that you want your children or your nephew or niece to miss. Okay. Originally, it was going to be Girl Blaze. And I had people send me a message and said, Louisa, we have some boys. That's okay. So I'm going to accommodate you for this time. And so it's a free program. You do not need to pay any fee. All that I require of you is just to register for the program. You don't have to be in Virginia. It's going to be done online. You can register from Nigeria, from London, UK, everywhere in the world you can be part of this program. Now, this is a summer holiday. This will be a great gift from you to a child who needs this message for children's ages 5 to 10. Put them together. If you have an 11-year-old, we can accept him because it's not too far from 10. Put them together. We want to work with them for 2 full weeks, and this is going to be online. A lot of parents on this session would register their children to play games on PS4, to be on YouTube and watch things that are not positive. Now, this is the right message for them. So you don't want to miss this. So send me a message, okay? Send me an email at Louisa at the civilityacademy.com. You can send me an inbox message on my Facebook as well. I accept that. Or you can comment in the box below. That's okay. Another thing that is very important. Hello, Buki from London, UK. Woohoo! Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All of my people are here and they're just making me feel so good. It's a Monday morning. I feel great to have all of you in the house from different parts of the world. I appreciate you and I love you all. So for the month of August, if you are interested, and I have had lots of messages of those that want to get certified, it is here now. The different certifications that are coming up, the trainings, if you want to be certified in civility at work, we have that for you. Civility at work, civility for the young people, courtesy coach. We have that for you. And if you want to become a golden rule civility statesman just like me and Dr. Margaret, we have that for you. We have all the informations for you. And I will be posting the link later on today for you to be part of this. Dr. Margaret, I have another question. Can you imagine? I just got a question from my inbox. This is interesting. It says, what leads to, let's address and talk about failure in leadership. What leads to it and how can we mitigate or prevent it? This is a question from my inbox. This person doesn't want to comment out here. So over to you, Dr. Margaret.
Great. I'm glad someone asked. Recently, a few weeks ago, I think about exactly 3 weeks ago, I was part of a panel at a youth panel in the Gambia. And the topic for the month was the role of youth in national security. And there were great panelists that day. They talked about security from a human perspective, preserving life. I mean, making sure there is no violence in the country, making sure that youth are aware of their surroundings and understanding the roles they play in securing the lives of people in their communities. But I wanted to come with a different spin to that. Because I believe sometimes when we talk about security, we only think of securing lives. And I'm getting to the point of leadership. And what I wanted these youth to walk away with that day is that as current leaders in your capacity, and as future leaders who are going to take the baton of leadership in this nation, I want you to think of security from a whole new perspective. I want you to think of property security. As a leader in this nation, you have to be able to preserve the property of the government and the citizens. Because when you lavish the funds, when you abuse the properties, when you abuse the assets, you are putting this country in danger for the next generation, because you will not leave anything when you vacate for them to inherit, for them to keep surviving, to keep living, and to keep being a nation. That's poor leadership. People go into the seat not understanding that it's not only about the power, the position, or the prestige. It's not only about creating and building personal wealth, but leadership of a nation is a seat of responsibility. It is a position for you to make the lives of the people you lead better. And when you don't understand that you're responsible for property, security, then you have failed as a leader. And then I also talked about value and cultural security. Every member of every nation, every citizen of every nation is an ambassador of that nation. And wherever you go, you carry the banner of your nation. I don't have to go to Nigeria. I didn't have to go there, Louisa. But when I met you, I met Nigeria.
That's
How
correct.
you carry yourself, the values you bring to the relationship, your culture, your personal culture, your work ethics, everything about you tells me about the people you are a part of and the people you represent.
That's correct.
So when leaders don't understand that the values and culture that they show and model and what people experience with a representation and a reflection of the people they represent, then they have failed as a leader. And most of our leaders go into the seat without understanding that it's not about them, but they're representing a people who are going to be judged by somebody meeting just one leader from that nation. And the entire, I mean, brand, the entire, reputation of that nation is jeopardized because of one person. And I also talked to them about brand security. Brand security. Every nation has a reputation. Every nation is known for something. The reason I was very excited to come from Gambia to America, because there was a reputation back then about America, and it made me dream and desire and want to be here. There was a brand that was associated to this nation. When you mention America, a particular feeling rises inside of people, and it's a feeling of success, the feeling of excitement, the feeling of I'm going there to be a better person. And so every leader in every seat need to understand that they carry that brand with them. They become the brand ambassador of their nation. Just like I say, coaches of influence, I am the brand ambassador. When I say that, to me, coaches of influence goes beyond being a business. Influence becomes a lifestyle. I'm not only influential when I hold the microphone. I'm influential beginning in my home. Because when you assume a position and you give yourself a title, or you're given a title by the seat you occupy, you need to look like what you call yourself. So leadership, the leaders need to look like leaders, and they need to act like leaders. They need to walk the talk. So influence for me is not only a position, it's not a brand for a business, it is a lifestyle. So leadership should be a lifestyle, and most leaders fail in branding. They don't understand. They think branding is only for corporations. They don't understand branding is for individuals, it's for the seat they occupy, it's for the office they represent, and the entire nation they represent. And then I talked about economic security, securing the resources of the nation. When leaders negotiate at the table with investors to sell them portions of the nation, they're selling the future of the nation sometimes, because some of those negotiations are for the wrong reason, the wrong perspective, is for their own personal gain. And many nations are selling the future of their nation to investors because the people at the table don't understand the future. They don't understand leadership. They're not concerned about the people coming right after them. They're concerned about themselves. They're very selfish. So these are part of the reasons, to me, in my opinion, being an influence coach and interacting with leaders of nations and interacting with youth from all nations and interacting with people from different parts of the world, I have come to realize that these four things are what ingredients that are missing in most of our leaders. They only focus on one or on only two, and they're not rounded leaders. So they are deficient. And that's why we have a deficiency in leadership, because we have the right people in the wrong seats and the wrong people in the right. Right.
Dr. Margaret, you are moving tables this morning. Oh my goodness, the right people in the wrong seat. Oh my goodness, that was hot. And I'm sure that everybody got that. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Ella from Virginia. Thank you. Now, if you got here late, you have to be able to watch this program. We're going to have it on replay, posted on my page. And you have to be on time next time. I know that we were kind of late, but next time you have Dr. Margaret coming up, you have to be here on time. Yes, Dr. Miller says yes. I agree with you totally. Thank you so much, everyone. It is the top of the hour, and we have to go now. If you do have more questions, send them to me. That was a question in my inbox. If you feel more comfortable to leave it in my inbox, that's okay. I will pass it on to her. If you want to leave it in the comment box below, please do it. This is a topic that affects all of us and the younger generation. So it is important that we all hold our hands together and really try to face this issues and all of the gaps in the leadership of today. And I want you to go away with this from this session, knowing that leadership sorry, from this piece, I feel like I missed a lot. Yes, you did miss a lot, Ella, but that's okay. You can watch the replay. So leadership has to be a lifestyle. Your leadership must show up in your language, your behavior, your image, your brand. Okay? And success has said something else now. If only leaders on the seat know that they could determine the destiny of the people in the bus, things will be better. Thank you so much, Success. And I want to be able to have you in the next session because you have some strong points there. Thank you, Dr. Margaret. Everyone is so excited. And I just want you, before you leave, to just say how much you love and appreciate Dr. Margaret. I'm so happy that you made out time to be here. Thank you, and thank you again. And I'm looking forward to have you again on our show very soon. So, guys, I am running off now. I hate to let you go, but I will be here 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday. Make it a date. Be here on time. We're going to continue this conversation on how to restore civility in our community, in our homes, in our government, and amongst our leaders. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.